All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to In the Den with AG. My name is JP. AG, what do we got going on today?
Well, first off, I'd like to talk about the exciting world of football after Week 18 in the NFL. It has been a crazy week because the Patriots, who had held the number one overall pick, they were in prime position to hold the number one overall pick to choose whoever they would like, from Travis Hunter, who's obviously the greatest player in this draft overall, Shedeur Sanders, his teammates, great quarterback along with Cam Ward from Miami. But because of their shocking win over the Bills, even though the Bills rested a ton of their starters, they gave the number one overall pick away, and the Tennessee Titans snatched that number one overall pick. First time they had that in over 50 years. So
Wow.
the top three basically consists of the Tennessee Titans, the Cleveland Browns,
Yep.
who had lost to Miami the other day, and the New York Giants, who lost on Sunday to the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's what the top three looks like.
Top three, gotcha.
Yeah. So basically, all three of these teams need a quarterback. And the top two quarterbacks in this draft are Shedeur Sanders from Colorado and Cam Ward from Miami, obviously. So my little mock draft here, I guess, I have Tennessee taking Cam Ward from Miami, number one overall, fixing their quarterback problem after they had benched their second-round pick from less than 2 years ago, Will Levis, who was benched in favor of Mason Rudolph for this season. And then Cleveland, I think, will take the other quarterback in this draft, good quarterback in this draft, Shedeur Sanders from Colorado, because their current quarterback, Deshaun Watson, ever since he signed the $200+ million contract, he hasn't lived up to that contract exactly.
Right.
So
right.
even though they restructured it recently, he's gonna need some competition. So obviously there's been links with other QBs, such as Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins involved in a trade, quarterbacks like that. But I have Cleveland taking Shedeur, number 2 overall, to compete with Deshaun Watson, because they gotta have him on the roster.
Okay.
Deshaun, because of their big contract.
Huge contract, yeah.
It's a huge contract, $220 million. And obviously, the Giants fans, I know you're going to get me a little mad for that. But I do have the New York Giants taking Travis Hunter, who is both a wide receiver and a cornerback. So he plays both sides of the ball.
Okay.
In college football, he played 120 snaps per game.
120.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
a
goodness.
lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It is a lot.
Even I know that.
I mean, obviously, we're not sure if he's going to play either wide receiver or cornerback or both, because it's probably going to be a little bit harder than college football. I see him playing quarterback often, was sometimes wide receiver if needed, because obviously the Giants would like both. They need both positions.
Yep.
And I have, and even though the Giants have their quarterback problems still, I have them going after Sam Darnold,
Okay.
who has had a spectacular season with Minnesota. Best season in his career by far, over 4,000 yards and 20+ touchdowns so far.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Except for that Sunday Night Football game against the Detroit Lions, that was his worst game this season. But other than that, he's been phenomenal all season after signing a 1-year, $10 million contract with Minnesota to compete with rookie J.J. McCarthy that the Vikings picked in last year's draft. So if Sam Darnold does well in the playoffs for Minnesota is definitely going to give him $100+ million contract over, let's say, 4 years. That's what I predict. 4 years,
Okay.
$100 million, depending on who he signs for.
Okay.
So if he does well in the playoffs, Minnesota's definitely going to retain him.
Right.
And
they're
they're
going to
probably
offer him a contract. 100 mil, 4 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And I see them, if they're going to keep Sam Darnold for, that long. J.J. McCarthy, he's just going to be sitting there on the bench for who knows how long, depending on how long the contract is, for at least 4 years. He's just going to be sitting there. And obviously, this could be like a Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers story, where Aaron Rodgers, he was the Green Bay Packers started QB, and Jordan Love sat behind him for about 3 years until Rodgers left for New York. And of course, Jordan Love is the highest paid quarterback in the league now.
What
And
does he
been
make? What does he make? He's highest paid quarterback in the
Yeah,
league.
so last
What are we at?
offseason, he signed a $250+ million contract
Wow.
with Green Bay. And it is well deserved for him because he's been phenomenal ever since Rodgers has left Green Bay. And I have the Giants somehow taking Sam Darnold for 110, like 120 mil,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere around there to fix their QB problems. And obviously, I
Is
see
that a
them-
signed contract, or you're predicting that?
I'm predicting that.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
predicting that maybe around 120 mil. Over 4 or 5 years, depending on how much he wants.
Mm-hmm.
If he does well in the playoffs or not, it really depends. And even though the Giants will miss out on the top 2 quarterbacks in this draft, I do see them in like the later rounds, in like the second or third rounds. Like a day 2, day 3 pick. I see them taking like another QB like
Okay.
Quinn Evers, for example, from Texas. He's been great, but ever since he's declared for the draft, Arch Manning has come in. He stepped in for Texas. Obviously, he's going to be in the draft next year, then next year's draft.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So either the Giants take, like someone like Quinn Evers, who's going to be like a day 2 pick, day 3 pick, something like that,
Okay.
or they get someone in free agency, and they probably take, someone like Arch Manning or any other quarterbacks that come in next year's draft.
Okay.
Depending on what that is.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So basically, the final playoff spots have been booked as the Denver Broncos have eliminated the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins after beating the Chiefs in a beatdown, 38-0. 38-0, with Carson Wentz at quarterback. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes has sats for that. And in the NFC, we have the Lions taking the number 1 seed after defeating the Vikings, and the Vikings drop all the way to the 5th and will play the LA Rams in the first round.
Got it.
So that's all that's happening in the NFL world.
Nice.
Score-wise, also after the Patriots win against the Bills, that might have hurt their chances at the number 1 overall pick, which it did, their draft picks. Jared Mayo, the potential successor to legendary Patriots coach Bill Belichick, had been fired right after the game. After only one
Right after
season.
the game.
Right after
One
the game,
season.
basically. Only after one season. It was announced on Twitter. And obviously that's pretty bad for the Patriots. They're gonna have to find a new head coach now to succeed Bill Belichick after he left in 2023, about a year ago from 2 years ago, because January 2023. So yeah, that's everything that's going around the NFL. And obviously, just a quick note, in the MLB we have some small signings here. Nolan Arenado from the Cardinals. The Red Sox are reportedly interested in him for a trade. Yankees are interested in trading for the Dodgers Gavin Lux, who is a quality starting pitcher. And obviously Roki Sasaki, the Japanese phenomenon. It's gone down to a few teams. So the New York Mets, New York Yankees, the Texas Rangers, which I think is a little surprise, the Dodgers, and the Padres. I think those are the final 5 teams that will compete for Sasaki's signature.
Wow.
He's expected to sign from January 15th between January 23rd, when the international pool opens and closes. So
Okay.
that's all I have for today.
That's awesome, AG. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you for listening in. Tune in for next episode.
Be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next episode.
See ya.